Do you still feel hard to sit down and just practice gesture, even if you have that burning desire to become an artist? That's me a few years ago. It didn't matter how much I wanted to get better at figure drawing. Sitting in front of that blank piece of paper staring at me always felt like a chore. But since I implemented these 3 simple techniques, I completely changed the way I practice and went from this to this way faster. Now, no matter how tired or busy I am, practice has become a part of my day. So let me show you what those are and how to implement them. Starting from the most important concept, the foundation for the artist we will be one day. You see, I used to practice only when I found the time to do so. It could have been once per week, once per month, or even every day if I felt like it. And this is all good, but the problem is that this doesn't build consistency. I basically left my own improvement to chance. But this was before understanding the power of habits. Because when something becomes a habit, it means it gets automatic. You don't even need to think about it. You just do it. And even better, all these drawing habits will compound over time. Better habits equals better art. Just knowing this changed everything for me. I started developing actively the habit of practicing. But how? One thing that helped me a lot is tracking my habits. I do that by keeping a simple record of my days. And every time I complete a practice session, I put a check mark on it. I use Notion for this, but you can use any app or even a simple piece of paper. This not only serves as a reminder, but also seeing that long streak of check marks made it more painful to break it. Because I was like, oh, I did so much to get to this point. I don't want to break my streak and lose all this momentum. But there is another thing. Life happens. There were days when I was sick, tired, or truly busy, so I didn't practice for that day. And this other rule, the 2 days rule, helped me not to lose my direction. It basically says that it's completely fine to skip one day once in a while, but you cannot do it for the second day in a row. When this happens, you enter a negative spiral in which you might go back to your old bad habits. So I made it an hard rule for myself. Fine if for one day I was not going to practice, but I would make it a priority for the second day. So that's the first thing. Repetition helped me to establish a new habit and make it a natural part of my day, no matter how busy or tired I was. Not practicing almost feels uncomfortable for me at this point, but building a habit became incredibly easy when I started to implement this second technique, a technique that is designed to reduce friction. And by the way, I created a free Discord community of artists to help you with all this. So if you want to join, the link is in the description. One of the biggest misconceptions I had when I was a beginner was that only a massive action, completely reorganizing my life, would have brought a massive improvement. But that's not the case. Even a small action, if repeated in time, can compound and bring to a massive improvement at the end. Remember, we are playing the long game. This is when I created for myself the 1-minute gesture rule. If I really struggle one day to find the time or the energy to practice, all I would do is just one single gesture. That's it. One single 1-minute gesture. When I convince my brain of this, I trick myself to sit down to practice way more easily. The key here is really to make it simple for yourself, especially at the beginning when you have to start or pick up the habit of drawing after a long time. Just showing up can give you that inertia to move on to bigger commitments. It's easier to have an anchor first and build on top of that. But the thing is, after I finish with that 1-minute gesture, something great would happen. At least 90% of the times, I would continue and do 10, 20 gestures. This shows how the hardest part sometimes is just starting. And after that, we just keep going because guess what? We are passionate about drawing. I mean, we wouldn't be here otherwise, right? I apply this same rule when I train. When I don't feel like it, I just do a couple of push-ups and call it a day. But more often than not, I continue till the end of the session. So this simple 1-minute rule helped me to stick to my habits, making the hardest part, sitting down and starting, way easier. Okay, at this point we are tracking our practice, we simplified it, but there is one last technique that made me practice way more frequently. You see, at the beginning, I only felt like drawing when I was sitting at my desk, with everything perfectly in its place. So if I felt too tired to go at my desk, open up my pencil case, take out my supplies and start drawing, then I would do nothing. I started to practice a lot more when I realized that I could do a quick gesture anywhere and at any time. While waiting in line, on the phone, during a meeting. Okay, don't tell my boss. So I started to carry around a sketchbook and a pencil to use any opportunity I had to quickly capture a gesture. This cemented my habit and also made gesture drawing a fun outlet every time I was bored. And this concept became even more powerful when I learned about this other technique called habit stacking. This is simply linking a new habit that you want to develop to an existing one to stick to it more easily. For example, I started to do a quick gesture right after waking up, because I do have the habit of waking up in the morning. No, but you can say, right after breakfast I will do a gesture, or right after dinner, after brushing my teeth. So this way the first habit, already ingrained in your day and in your mind, becomes a trigger for the second one that you want to pick up. Don't forget also that you can do a quick gesture anytime and anywhere. I mean, just a quick sketch after all. So habit stacking combined with the 1 minute rule kept the momentum going way easier, which allowed me to improve more consistently and faster. So at this point we know that the key is building habits, and in a way that kind of tricks our brain. But all this wasn't enough for me because of this. This can be a great tool, but also a massive waste of time. I used it to quickly find some reference for my gestures on the go, but without realizing it, I found myself doom scrolling instead of practicing. Even simply having it facing up on my desk distracted me so much. It's like a magnet, sometimes I use it for no reason at all. So I started using app blockers or keeping it in another room altogether, and this was a game changer. Because it saved me so much time and made me focus way more deeply and for longer. Now everything is in place. Believe it or not, these 3 simple techniques help me to keep improving and practicing even with no time or motivation. But if you are not sure about where to start to practice gesture, this video right here will show you how to do it this year. And I will see you on my next step.